What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? We're gonna join in real quick because there is a video that I do want to listen to today, and I want you guys to listen to it as well. Also, I want to let you guys know that tomorrow night I will be receiving the Kim Porter's book, and I'm going to read it online. So we also have that coming because supposedly there's all kinds of stuff in this book, and my husband actually ordered it for me as a surprise, and I'm pretty excited about that. So every night that I can, I will be reading some sections out of her book. But today we are going to get into a video that was released, and I want to listen to some of it, and I was like, you know what? Instead of me listening to it by myself, let me listen to it with you guys because it looks like it might be some juicy info. So we're gonna get into this. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. What's up to the lurkers and jerkers? How you doing? Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up on your way in. I'll give you guys a second. I'll repeat myself because I see a couple of y'all coming in. We are gonna listen to a video that's been dropped today. I want to hear that might have some information in it. Also, I have ordered. Well, my husband ordered the Kim Porter's Tell All book. It was just released on Amazon by a friend, and I actually know who the friend is, but I am going to wait to let that little nugget out when I get the book tomorrow. And then I'll have a co-host on Tuesday night that will probably hang out with me and do some reading too. I'm just saying. I got one more day until I get to see my girl Katrina's face. I'm so excited. I get to pick her up from the airport. I can't wait. So there has been rumors, you guys, on the rumor scale that there's going to be some more for warrants, I guess you could say. I guess they're gonna be dropping some more indictments. There we go. There's the proper word. We dealing with like big people. We gotta say indictments. um, so apparently through the rumor mill and everything I've been digging around for this morning, because I promise y'all, I feel like I'm working this fucking case, but I can't help it. It is my mission for people to understand this big, huge case because then you can understand some of the power and control and trafficking and just all the shit that goes on, right? And if we're ever going to make a movement in this anti-trafficking stuff, then we all have to understand it, right? And I appreciate everybody that loves me enough and wants to learn stuff. So I appreciate y'all. All right, so we're going to get in this video. So let me rewind. It's my girl. All right, let's see. This video in particular is only 15 minutes. So it's a quick video. I just don't want to get behind on our listening sessions. And then you guys like not, you know what I mean? Like, cause there's so much shit coming out so fast. I mean, on a Sunday, there's even shit coming out. Like, it's fucking Sunday. We don't even get a rest on Sunday. All right.
So, baby, David, start doing your victory dance. All right, y'all. Let's
Okay.
get into this.
Let's see what she's got to say today.
Meet me after the jump and let me know what you think. All right. Also, if you guys don't know, I am going live tonight, baby. We are discussing all things Jonathan Ivy. I got some new information, and baby, I guarantee you it's going to blow your mind. All right, see y'all soon. Here is a deep dive into the last 10 years of Diddy's blind items. And there were a lot of blind items, even in the last 10 years. But we are still getting some blind items about his past, including those about Jennifer Lopez and Tupac.
And so when they're saying blind items, some of these things can and may be being used against them with the feds. And it's stuff that probably, that they didn't expect it.
So let's get into it. We're starting off in January of 2013. This next beauty is a kept woman in every sense of the word. She is the concubine of a rich, arrogant music mogul who lavishes her with gifts and baubles so she won't know her true self-worth. This one-hit wonder has learned to play the submission game to the T. And this is allegedly Cassie and Diddy. In February of 2013, this A-plus list rapper who talks a big game when it comes to women and has had a few high-profile relationships with women has always preferred guys. Fairly open secret. The thing is, he never practiced safe intimacy, and one of his conquests is threatening to sue him, saying the rapper passed on the HIV virus. The rap star has refused to take a test proving that he is negative.
Also,
this one is either 50 of his
Also, I'm going to say this. So there is rumors going around that there's possibly Mr. P decided to pass herpes and HIV. I've heard that from people that were victims of his. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is something that's been going around. So
Conquest is threatening to sue him, saying the rapper passed on the HIV virus. The rap star has refused to take a test proving that he is negative. And this one is either 50 Cent or P. Diddy, allegedly. In March of 2013, this A-plus list celebrity slash producer slash fake rapper loves women, but he likes them to get freaky with him. One of his regulars was with her girlfriend in an adult toy shop, and she kept saying no to her friend and then finally said, blank, P. Diddy, allegedly, likes them to be like a foot long. I honestly don't know how it fits inside of him. Also in March, this A-list celebrity, rapper, and mogul, and sometimes reality star, is not a huge drinker. At clubs, he will drink and he orders a ton of booze, but he is not like Jay-Z, who will actually get hammered. There are times, though, that our celebrity does. If you are an 18 to 22-year-old gay male interested in older men and lots of presence, this is your...
And if you know anything, if you've learned anything since all this has came out, one thing that is for certain is that your boy was definitely, it seems like he prefers men. And I'm going to say this because I'm going to leak something out to you guys just a little bit. So tomorrow night, right, we're going to be reading the book. We're going to be reading the book by his ex-wife. And I've already read, okay, I cheated a little bit, you guys. I've read a couple things because there's a couple things that, you know, when you get the book, you get a little preview to. And let me tell you guys, the shit that you guys are going to fucking drop your mind when you find out some of the shit that's going on in this book. And there's a lot of talk of sexual encounters with a lot of the men that were around him. So, and some people say, what does this have to do with anything? It has everything to do with it because there's male victims as well.
Chance. Our celebrity uses his drinking as an excuse to take the night off from being a ladies' man. He heads to a club and finds some willing guys, and then for the rest of the night they drive around the party bus while our celebrity enjoys getting wild with the guys with no one to see and is passing out money and presents and booze and seemingly at his happiest. When the party is over, he drops them back off at the club and then pretends it all never happened. Just blame it on the booze. In May of 2013, what was supposed to be a great business arrangement went sour really quickly because of some demands this A++ list producer made on this current A++ list celebrity. The story of their involvement went to the press, and then they had to deny it because she had a problem with the money he was going to pay her for the summer and no problem with the amount of time they were going to spend together. But when he said that he would only go through with everything if they had unprotected intimacy, she said no, wouldn't budge, he wouldn't budge. She has moved on and already found someone else. And this is allegedly Diddy and Kate Upton. In July of 2013, this A-plus list celebrity rapper caused this male escort he had hired to have to go to the hospital after he was abused so violently during intercourse this past week. Our celebrity made him sign an agreement when he arrived and gave him a huge tip when he left. Hope it covered the hospital bill. And this one is allegedly.
And so a lot of people ask sometimes why don't some of the why, you know, now in this particular case, a lot of victims have been speaking up for long time. But there are some people that probably, and actually Bruno is kind of, you know, said, hey, you know, I think since he's locked up, now that more victims will come forward. And that's what's happening. but he also had people sign papers to where, like if they said anything about what was going on, that, he would ruin their career, he would ruin shit in some people's situations, their lives. You got me a coffee? Thank you, baby. I love my husband. It's the little things, fellas. It's the little things. When you do stuff for your lady and she don't ask and it's a surprise, it's nice. Got me a coffee. Anyway, my bad, y'all. So there's a lot of reasons why some people haven't spoke up. But again, a lot of people have spoke up of his violent, how violent, even in the video that we listened to last night, some of the maid people talked about how at some of those parties they would hear screams and cries that some sound pleasurable, but some did not. They sounded like they were being tortured and stuff like that. So there's just a lot, y'all. Hold on, let me get back.
Either Diddy, 50 Cent, Kanye West, or Dr. Dre. In August of 2013, this A-list is everything except for movies. He has been in them, but mostly in cameos. Anyway, he has always dabbled in substances and has been busted and exposed in this spot at least once in a reveal and more than once in the blinds. The HGH steroid combo he is currently taking right now is worse than anything he has done before. That smack he gave his B-list celebrity girlfriend last week was because he blamed her for his impotence problems. He wants to look good, but is starting to lash out at everyone. Don't put a weapon in his hand right now. And again, this is allegedly Diddy and Cassie. In September of 2013, this A++ list celebrity and everything else, who has had one of the most famous faces in the celebrity world, was so messed up on substances this weekend, he was running around telling everyone that they had him confused with his twin brother. The twin brother's name changed periodically over the weekend, but the twin brother also seemed to be way more into men than women. No physical action, but there was a lot of comments and schmexual innuendos and a lot of adjusting that he had to keep doing to himself when he would see an attractive guy. It lasted the entire weekend. And this is allegedly Diddy at Burning Man. And this last one from 2013 is also in September. This A-plus list celebrity and rapper is not a nice guy. When he gets really frustrated, he takes out his anger on the male escorts he buys for a few hours. They know a beating is coming, but they are prepared to sacrifice a few days of bruising for the monster payments they receive. On Tuesday night, though, our celebrity went overboard, and it is going to take about $100,000 to get a guy to shut up about it. And this is allegedly Diddy, Kanye, or 50 Cent. Go to part 2. Here's part 2 of a deep dive into Diddy's blind items. We are in December of 2014. This A-list performer slash producer slash promoter was running around like crazy at a party this week in the warm weather climate. With all the glitz and glamour at the party, you would think he would be in his element, but he was on edge and doing shot after shot and popping pills like crazy until a guy showed up. Our performer, with the unusual names, grabbed the hand of the man and smiled and took him to the corner where he gave him lots of kisses. It was a head turner for everyone. And this is allegedly Diddy in Miami. Also in December, this more B-list.
Yeah, it's all the little like people that and different victims that have spoke up,
because doctors
that are starting to speak up.
A few years ago that she wouldn't be able to have kids. She has listened to anything by the A-list performer.
Torture novel.
Since. This is allegedly Sienna Miller and Diddy. In February of 2014, it took almost a decade, but this former A-list singer and celebrity, who is now a B-minus lister, finally paid off her debt to the A-plus list everything. I don't even want to know how much intimacy she had to have or the amount of money and interest she had to pay, but her debt is clear and now she will probably have a hit record. And this is allegedly Ashanti and Diddy. In April of 2014, this A-list everything bought and paid for an escort for his son. The escort was a corn star the son had always liked. The A-lister checked her talent test before he would let her spend the night with his son. And this is allegedly Diddy and his son Christian on his 16th birthday. Also in April, this performer turned mogul turned group.
And you've heard me in the recent days talk about how, like, it's really sad that the shit that he's done, but the fact that he's pulled not all of his sons, but at least two of his sons that seem to be involved in a lot of stuff. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sickening, actually, when you do shit like that.
Maker turned whatever it is he does now was at Coachella this weekend and got into an argument with one of his bodyguards. He told the bodyguard the only way he was going to keep his job was to walk around naked for 30 minutes. The bodyguard did it while everyone looked away uncomfortably. In July of 2014, I don't think it is going to start a rap war or anything, but this B-list singer with the very interesting look used to be the go-to third party for this A-list mogul producer and wannabe singer and reality star, and now she hooks up with this A-plus list rapper when he wants something different than what he usually goes for. And this is allegedly Janelle Monáe, Diddy, and Jay-Z. Also in July, this A-list mogul who would really love to be classified on here as an A-list singer or rapper or something requiring talent has a camera crew following him around for a few months because he wants to release a movie about himself and is ticked off that no one has wanted to do so. His girlfriend is getting ticked off because even though it is a documentary, if he doesn't like something she does or says, but likes what he did or said, he makes her do it again. Many times. He is directing the film. And this is allegedly Diddy and Cassie. In October of 2014, for the second time that I can remember in the past 2 years, this foreign-born B-list mostly movie actress who has some really high name recognition, and not in a good way for the things she has done, hooked up with this A-list mogul slash celebrity slash reality star slash wannabe singer because she needs another cash infusion. She has been working more to pay the bills, but lost all of her money in a side venture, and our mogul has always had a soft spot for her after an incident several years ago. And this is allegedly Sienna Miller. Also in October, this very famous music artist is known as quite a ladies' man. That's why we were a little surprised to hear that he has an interesting set of toys at his home, a large collection of toys in every color and shape and size. The reason that this is interesting is not because he uses those toys on his female guests, it's because he has the ladies use them on him. And I can't read the rest of this blind item because TikTok's going to take the video down. So if you want to read it, you can see the text above. And that's it for 2014. Go to here's part 2 of a deep dive into Diddy's blind items. We are in December of 2014. This A-list performer slash producer slash promoter with the unusual names grabbed the hand of the man and smiled and took him to the corner where he gave him lots of kisses. It was a head turner for everyone. And this is allegedly Diddy in Miami. Also in December, this foreign-born B-list mostly movie actress who stays B-list by name only was shocked she managed to get pregnant because doctors told her after she ended a pregnancy a few years ago that she wouldn't be able to have kids. She has not listened to anything by the A-list performer and producer and promoter since. And this is allegedly Sienna Miller and Diddy. In February of 2014, it took almost a decade, but this former A-list singer and celebrity, who is now a B-minus lister, finally paid off her debt to this A-plus list everything. I don't even want to know how much intimacy she had to have or the amount of money and interest she had to pay, but her debt is clear and now she will probably have a hit record. And this is allegedly Ashanti and Diddy. In April of 2014, this A-list everything bought and paid for an escort for his son. The escort was a corn star the son had always liked. The A-lister checked her talent test before he would let her spend the night with his son. And this is allegedly Diddy and his son Christian on his 16th birthday. Also in April, this performer turned mogul turned group maker turned whatever it is he does now was at Coachella this weekend and got into an argument with one of his bodyguards.
Sorry, y'all, my cat, that's where my cat rewound. I'm fast for it.
Bodyguard did it while everyone looked away uncomfortably. In July of 2014, I don't think it is going to start a rap war or anything, but this B-list singer with the very interesting look used to be the go-to third party for this A-list mogul producer and wannabe singer and reality star, and now she hooks up with this A-plus list rapper when he wants something different than what he usually goes for. And this is allegedly Janelle Monáe, Diddy, and Jay-Z. Also in July, this A-list mogul who would really love to be classified on here as an A-list singer or rapper or something requiring talent has a camera crew following him around for a few months because he wants to release a movie about himself and is ticked off that no one has wanted to do so. His girlfriend is getting ticked off because even though it is a documentary, if he doesn't like something she does or says, but likes what he did or said, he makes her do it again. Many times. He is directing the film, and this is allegedly Diddy and Cassie. In October of 2014, for the second time that I can remember in the past 2 years, this foreign-born B-list mostly movie actress who has some really high name recognition, and not in a good way for the things she has done, hooked up with this A-list mogul slash celebrity slash reality star slash wannabe singer because she needs another cash infusion. She has been working more to pay the bills, but lost all of her money in a side venture, and our mogul has always had a soft spot for her after an incident several years ago. And this is allegedly Sienna Miller. Also in October, this very famous music artist is known as quite a ladies' man. That's why we were a little surprised to hear that he has an interesting set of toys at his home, a large collection of toys in every color and shape and size. The reason that this is interesting is not because he uses those toys on his female guests, it's because he has the ladies use them on him. And I can't read the rest of this blind item because TikTok's going to take the video down, so if you want to read it, you can see the text above. And that's it for 2014. Go to part 3.
All right. Let's see if there's anything. So those are all things that have been coming out, which, to be honest, if you've followed this case, you probably know half of that. There's something else, but I'm not ready to listen to that just yet. It's not done yet. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. What are you guys up to? Uh. Yeah. I guess we can listen to this a little bit.
Her house. I can't remember whether or not she rode with him.
So this is something that is from Tiffany Red, and that is Cassie's best friend. Cassie is the main witness in all of this stuff going on. She's the young lady that was beaten in the hallway at the hotel. Most of us seen stuff like that. It's a pretty long interview. We're gonna listen to a little bit of it.
Right. I can't get over how gorgeous she is. I love the bread, love the look. It's working. Thank you for joining us. Now, listen, I have to dive right into it, okay? You went live on Instagram, I think about a day ago, where you actually gave some information that a lot of people, even myself, have overlooked. If you guys don't know, there was a segment in Cassie's lawsuit where they talk about a friend being held over about.
So you guys have heard me talk about this specific case, right? It's something that has been going on during the grand jury. I think they're going to touch into a little bit. I have not listened to this yet because this is actually still going on, but we're going to dive into it a little bit. I got an hour to kill.
Balcony. A lot of people assumed that was Wale because there was a funny story going around where some people that were in the studio with Wale accused him of being hung out on the balcony. However, you are saying it was not Wale, that incident at least, the incident that was referred to in Cassie's lawsuit. Can you tell us your recollection of that?
Well, what I can tell you, like I said in the video, is it's a woman. You know, in Cassie's lawsuit, she talks about Huff scaring her friends, and I thought it was really important, like in this time, for people to know that it was a woman. You know, because like of the apology, the I wanted people to know the timeline. You know, this was later on.
Hey, Seeker's mom.
And after the hotel incident, and yeah, it was somebody that was in our friend group, and you know, people always say like, why didn't you guys do this? Why didn't you guys do that? Why didn't you guys do that? And I've said in a previous video, like, there were plenty of us who protected her and we paid for it. And that was somebody who paid for it.
So let's just roll it back, okay? So there's an incident where there is a young woman. I understand very much so that there are legal things going on in the background, both criminally and also civilly. So we can't really go too much into depth. But there was a woman and she was hung off of a 17th floor balcony. This was a high rise, as I understand it, on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. If you've ever been on Wilshire Boulevard, you know those high rises go up to the sky. So this was the 17th floor. And there was a woman hung over the balcony. When that happened, was there security or other people in the room, anybody that could intervene in a legitimate way?
No.
It was a bunch of women.
And when you say no, there was nobody in the room, security, or nobody that was willing to intervene?
There was no security. And
okay.
And like, I'm trying to figure out how to
well, how about this?
There was no security. There was no security, and I mean, it was intervened. It was intervened.
It was intervened. Okay, I understand we're talking about this. Why don't we talk about the things we can talk about? What was the feeling in the room when that was happening? How do you remember people reacting to it? Was it pandemonium? Did you think the person was going to fall? What were your thoughts and recollections on that?
Well, so my thoughts on the situation happening. So I just want to be clear. I didn't witness it. I didn't see it. Cassie talked to me about it, and so did the person that it happened to, and people in our friend group. So I wasn't present for that incident, that one specifically, but the feeling, like, once I found out, and just like the feeling around the crew after that happened, I think it's scared.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's scary. Like,
he's been known to terrorize her friends for trying to help her.
And what it is like to be in the presence of somebody who has the capability of something like that, who is so insulated, like, who is so protected on so many different levels. Like, it's scary.
When you say that you felt like he was insulated and protected on so many levels, what was your impression of how he was insulated?
Well, he had like security. His security, in my opinion, I personally felt intimidated by his security. Like, my first time interacting with both of them was intimidation, both of them. And so, like, that's the energy. The energy is definitely very, like, it's clear everybody that's there is there for him. It's assistants, it's a chef, it's a stylist, it's security, it's a whole production. So, like, you're always outnumbered.
But when you say you felt, I'm sorry, go on. No, when you say you felt intimidated and you felt like even the security was on some intimidation, I understand that, again, with intimidation, it's not like schoolyards where people are like, knuckling up on you. But how do you think they got that intimidation across?
Well, so on Cassie's 29th birthday, that was the first time I ever met Puff in person. So before I had met him that day, I had only talked to him once, and it was on FaceTime. I was talking to her, and they were together. But so her 29th birthday was the first time that I met him. And it was a surprise birthday party. And there was a moment where it was just him and I, and he just, I introduced myself, and he said, so you're the one she's talking to, huh? Like, you're the one writing these songs about me, huh? And I was like,
there's an aggressive edge to it.
It was just very, like, It wasn't like it wasn't. It just was like he was looking me in my face very, and then he just like walked away. It was just weird. It was awkward, you know. But I felt intimidated, like him saying specifically like you're the one. So he was like you're the one that's writing all these songs about me, and I was like yeah, and then he was like so she's talking to you, huh? That's what he said.
Oh wow.
Like, and then I said yeah. I was like yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared as fuck. My heart was like, but he just and then he walked away. And then like not too long after that, or maybe it was later that evening, I can't remember like timeline, but at the party, his one of his security people walked up to me and was like, um, it's nice to meet you, Tiffany. And I was like, who are you? And he was like, I've heard a lot about you. And I was just like, you know what it just was very like I never even met you.
They weren't
yeah, it was weird. And then when we left, I remember I want to say it was the security guard's wife, I think, just hovering around us the whole night, like our friend group. Like Cass didn't want to be there. Her and Puff were fighting like during this time. So like it was really more so putting on for the cameras. There was a lot of people there, filmed and stuff like that. And but she wanted to go to Blind Dragon. She wanted to go karaoke. And so we were all talking about leaving, and there were like a lot of people from his team trying to discourage us from leaving, trying to like find out where we were going. And like including the security's wife. It was weird. I just was like, what is this? This was like my first time experiencing all this. So it's like, why are they tracking us like this? Like, we've been here all day. It's nighttime. We want to go karaoke and have fun with our friends. You know what I'm saying? So we left and we went anyway. And he followed us there. He followed us there, and that's the night that I write about in my in that essay that I did for Rolling Stone, where I'm like, those were like, so he after we left and I saw like how weird everyone was being about us leaving, when he showed up to Blind Dragon, it just felt like the air got sucked out the room. It was so crazy just watching everyone fold. Everybody.
So let's slow this down. I have a few questions. So let's slow this down. I have some questions about at the party, but we're at Blind Dragon. So you said the energy just got sucked out the room.
What up,
like
everybody?
So you guys are karaoke.
We're just listening to an interview. This is with Tiffany Red, which is Cassie's best friend. And she's just talking about some things that, she's seen and experienced and all that. So we did a little 15-minute video that was put together that has a lot of people talking, and they call them blind. They're like victims, but they're not putting names on it yet. But it's some more indictments should be coming. And maybe like 30 to 60 days is what I'm hearing, just FYI.
Okay, right? Singing like, your favorites, right?
We shall see, though.
Yeah, having fun. Trying to see if you see your bops on the karaoke list. And then, did he show up alone? Did he show up with people?
No, he
How
showed
did
up
he
with
come
security.
in?
He came in with security. So he showed up.
And just in case,
we were like, having fun singing. And I remember he showed up. He came in.
So, and just in case anybody missed it, tomorrow I am receiving, my husband ordered the Kim Porter's book that has been put out. This is the book that she was working on when she died, allegedly. I mean, she's dead, but like the way she died is very, very questionable, and always has been very questionable for anybody that knows anything about that. Kim Porter was around during a lot of really big stuff. And I took a little scan. There's like some, pages that I could see. And I'm just gonna say this: there's a lot of shit in there. There's a lot of stuff in there about Tupac and Big. There's just a lot of stuff. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to start reading that, and we'll read it all the way through until we get through it. I'll probably break it down in session. Like one day do one, some, then Tuesday do some, because it's not that long of a book, but we'll see once I physically have it in my hand. But we're gonna start that tomorrow.
and he sat next to her.
Because if you're gonna do research, you got to know what she's saying.
And I think they like ordered like a bunch of food. It was almost like to distract everybody. That's how it made me feel. Like it was like all of a sudden all this food comes in the room, and then they pulled her out of the room. Yeah,
Really?
they brought all this food in the room, and then they pulled her out. And so I followed her because I was like, this feels weird. And when I like opened the door, he had her cornered behind the door, and there was like, I want to say it was at least 2 security guards. Could have been 3, but at least 2. And they just like formed like not balloons. They formed like a circle. Did you see that?
I see the balloons.
Oh
Yeah. They're gone now. They're gone.
Okay. So they formed like a circle like around him and her, and he just was like cussing her out in her face. And I just like was like pretending to go to the back because I knew something was up, right? So I just was like, and her and I were just kind of like she was looking down at the ground and like kind of looking up at me, and so all of a sudden party's over, Cass is leaving, and she's leaving with him, and she like so after he was cussing her out and I guess told her she was gonna go with him, she asked me and 2 of our friends if we would stay there.
Hey, what's up, sweetie?
Like even though she was going with him, so we all went back to her house.
She pulled. So let me just slow this down. So you see him being aggressive to her. She's surrounded by men. Diddy says you kind of got in there because you had been feeling weird vibes all night.
Weird.
Even the way you said he ordered like a crazy amount of food.
It was weird.
To make you guys, because you guys, we're all going out, we're drinking, so everybody wants to eat, and everybody jumps on the food. He pulls you, you go out to be nosy, right? But not even nosy, that's the normal word, to literally look out, because we did.
Right, because you're looking out for your friend.
Yeah, because you felt his energy was off.
100%. There's been lots of times I've been with people and been like, they've gotten pulled away and been like, that don't feel right. Let me go see what's going on. Because I've never been one to just let shit slide.
He surrounded her.
It's probably what I've gotten myself in trouble a lot, to be honest with you, over the years is getting involved in it.
He's cursed her out. The security guards are basically guarding him to make sure nobody
can see what he's doing.
Like insulated, where it's like, for the people that are like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I'm like, he's not doing this by himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And when he does do stuff, it sounds like there's a whole team that just blink like nothing happened.
That like fill it up, just like it's like they go into a mode and they just make it happen. Whatever it is, like they just deal with. I don't know. It's weird.
So then he's like, "Come on, you're coming with me." And at that point, she somehow finds a way to be like, "Hey, can you guys spend the night?"
Yeah.
Okay. So then what happened? Go on.
So then we all go back to her house. I can't remember whether or not she rode with him. I want to say she rode with him, but I can't remember because we all took like those like big like Cadillac or Escalade trucks or whatever, black cars. We took a car from her house to the event, and then we took a truck to Blind Dragon, and I think she went with him, and he dropped her off at the house to like grab some things from her house. So she was like, packing a bag. And so when we got in the house, she just kept saying, I don't want to go. I don't want to go with him. I don't want to go with him. And I'm like, well, girl, like, if you don't want to go with him, like, why are you going to go with him? And then there was one person that was there, and they were like, she always goes. And I just was like, have you ever felt like, what is going on? I don't know what's happening, but something's happening.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Like, it felt like I just felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like, he's packing the bag, he's cussing her on in her face. Like, I knew already, like, I already knew by that time that something was going on. I had never seen him get physical with her, but I had definitely heard him, like, cuss her out real bad.
Okay.
Like, so I felt like, and I mean, unfortunately.
So you thought Go on.
Yeah, like Cassie is not my first friend that is a survivor of DV. And so unfortunately this ain't my first rodeo. So I just was like, bells is going off, like, this is weird. And so yeah, she just kept saying, I don't want to go, 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 I don't want to go. And then,
her tone when she kept saying, I don't want to go. Because I'm trying to be there in the room. Was it more like, girl, I don't want to go? Or was it something?
No, it was like she seemed uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, girl, if you don't want to go, don't go.
Yeah.
She seemed scared. She seemed like she didn't have a choice, is what it seemed like. Like, it was like, there's no such thing as like, I don't go, and I didn't know where she was going. I didn't know what was going on yet. And so he pops up at the door.
How much time do you think elapsed between when he dropped her off for her to get packed and him popping up on her?
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes.
And was he popping up like, hurry up, or popping up to take the temperature
to come get her? No, okay. He was popping up to come get her and leave.
Okay.
Yeah, he was popping up to come get her and leave. And so he popped up, came and got her. They left. And I just was like, that's weird. And you know what I noticed? Like, so this was like at that point, me and Cassie had been friends for like about a year. Me and her met each other and got cool in 2015 when we started working. And like, so, I had been around her for a while, but I had never been in a circumstance like that. Like I said, this was literally the first time I met Bud in person this day. And
at the party.
Yes, like this whole night is my first interaction with him in person. Where the other people that were there, that was not their first time interacting with him, and just being around it in general. And so I almost felt like, am I tripping? That was the friend I was. Was the friend that was like, they said that I always looked like I had a question mark on my head. They were like, get her ass out of here. They did not like me because I was like, weird. You know what I mean? Or yeah. Like, I can't explain why my skin why the hair on my arms are standing up, but they are, Yeah. But so he comes and he gets her, and one of the people that was there who said she always goes, they were like, they'll be back. Watch, they'll be back tonight. And I was like, what? And he was like, watch. And so go to bed.
I've heard that he is supposedly saying some things. I was going to look into that tonight.
I was sleep in her bed.
This is Tiffany Red, which is Casey's best friend.
Other friends will sleep on the couch, and the other friend was sleeping in the room with me.
So it's a 1-bedroom apartment.
It was a 2-bedroom.
Okay, gotcha.
The second bedroom is a closet.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so all of a sudden, I'm woken up to like screaming, singing, and hearing him screaming, "Emotional singing bitch!" He's just what? Emotional singing bitch, emotional singing bitch. And so I get up and we go into the living room, and he's like, "Emotional singing bitch, there you are," looking at me, and I'm like, "Oh, he's talking to me."
Oh, Government was like, me? Excuse me. But here's the question. When you say he's screaming, is he screaming like the neighbors might have heard him? Like
screaming. Yeah.
Okay.
Screaming loud.
So this wasn't any like emotional. It's not like he was trying to bring the party back.
Like, hey, no.
Yeah, no. He was
He was
okay.
Out. Emotional because he like, so he was screaming. First of all, so they come in. This is my first time ever seeing Cassie inebriated like this. I had never seen her she was like sedated. It was like she was like there, but she wasn't there. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, she just was kind of like in the corner.
Was she responsive?
No, she just was like, she was awake, but she just was kind of like a zombie.
Yeah.
She just was like a zombie. And he was screaming at me and the other two friends, but me specifically because I'm emotional singing bitch, right? Emotional singing bitch. Tell your girl she wants a birthday D. And he said the word. Tell your girl she wants a birthday D. I flew all the way from Miami. I threw this party for her. She gonna get this D. And I'm like, yo, she doesn't have to have sex with you if she doesn't want to, huh? She gonna get this D. She gonna get this D. And I remember saying something to him about his eyes. I was like, "What were y'all doing? Your eyes look nuts." Like his pupils were like, "Oh, we were just drinking." I'm like, "She doesn't look drunk." This is why when people be like, "What did you do? You didn't do shit," it be pissing me off because literally in that moment, the first time I saw him do something, I said something in that moment, stood up and was like, "No.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to do that with you. No." And then he took her again. They just like dipped again. And I remember his house, the house that got raided in LA.
Okay.
Her place was just right at the bottom of the hill from his house. So he used to take a golf cart from his house and drive it down the hill to hers. So they had driven from the golf cart down to back to her house. So when they left, we looked over the balcony. So her balcony overlooked where where like the car where you would pull up. So like where valet is at. So it's kind of like the back of the building. Like, yeah, it's the back of the building. So when you look down, you can see where valet is. You can see where people pulled up. So we could see the golf cart. So we see him and her get on the golf cart. They pull off, drive onto Wilshire on this girl.
In a golf cart in the middle of the night?
Yes, on a golf cart, middle of the night. I want to say she was in like a robe or some kind. It was so crazy. I remember. One of the people that we
that's
were
who
with.
got, yes,
like,
Theo.
like, it wasn't
That's who
like,
Ray J is.
Yeah.
They had a sex tape out.
So for those of you guys that don't know, if you're not from LA, Wilshire Boulevard.
They say it got leaked, but
Street.
I think it got leaked on purpose.
The main artery.
The main artery, it's basically like a little highway that's running through, and you usually take Wilshire to get everywhere in Los Angeles. So to be inebriated, looking like you zoning, eyes bugged out in the middle of the night on a golf cart is very, very. And people be drag racing on Wilshire too sometimes too. So there's also that. It's just
like,
not.
I was just like, oh my God, they're gonna go to jail. Like that's what I was thinking. Oh my girl's gonna go to jail. You know what I mean? My girl's gonna go to jail. My girl gonna go to jail. Like and that was my first time meeting Pop.
So let's go back too, because I feel you too. I've seen a lot of idiots being like, oh, how come her friends didn't do something? I'm like, okay, first y'all wanted Cassie to be Wonder Woman, and then he had a whole group of people. Yeah, and then the friends, of course you try, but see, that's the thing about when people need to educate themselves about abuse. When you are the friend, because I too have been there. When you are the friend, it's just like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
because it's traumatizing too. That's why I want to say I'm sorry, because it's traumatic watching your friends go through that stuff and not have any control, nothing that you can do. Sorry to cut you off, but I just want to acknowledge you.
Yeah, but no, thank you. But it's like, I just want to explain to people, even the cycle of abuse, which is why I say your friends going through it, leave the light on. Let them know no matter what happens, there will always be space, because these people will isolate you. And they only let the friends stay around that look the other way when they get handsy with them.
I was not that friend. I want to be clear. I was not that friend. I was the friend that got pushed out because I was like, what is going on? I was not the friend that didn't say anything. And so because of that, like it was on again, off again, on again, off again when it came to her and I, because I wasn't acting like I didn't see anything. I wasn't. I was asking questions. I was asking, are you okay?
Yeah. Let me go back to the first time that you met Diddy that night. So all this happened in the same night. It was like a bad movie that went in. But in the beginning, just to get people give an idea of like the control he exerts, you said that people were hovering around you. How was it hovering? Were they listening? Were they watching? Were they trying to like
They just were moving everywhere we went. Everywhere we went, they were just like sitting there listening.
What's up, everybody?
You could just tell, like, it was like handlers.
Mm.
Like,
So
it was like
they weren't trying to interact or be friendly. They were just like always, every time you all went to the bathroom, came back, ordered a drink, you turned around, and there were like the same people just watching and listening.
Yeah. And just telling him what it is that we're doing. Oh, they're going here. This is what they're doing. This is what, you know. Also, I want to go back and tell y'all about the first time, like my first time seeing something was wrong. To just give you an idea of the control. So when I want to say, so this was in 2015. I want to say this was when Cass was filming Perfect Match. I think they were done filming. One night we went out. Puff was in Miami. We were all in LA, and it was another birthday. So I guess it was her 28th birthday. We went to Ace of Diamonds with a group of friends, had fun, and I noticed that there were like certain men that didn't want to interact with her. Like, saw her, like, I remember there was one person in particular that she saw that night. I remember her being like, yo, why you didn't come over and say, you know, what's up? And he was like, I don't want no problems, you know. Like, and I just was like, okay, that's weird. And so I remember, you know, like anybody, leave the club late, everybody having a good time. I remember her and I went to McDonald's. We got breakfast food for everybody, like the whole crew. And he called her while I was in the car. And I remember she was like, you want to see something or you want to hear something crazy? And I was like, what? And she answered the phone. And as soon as she answered the phone, where the are you? Whoa! Like, he went, it sounded like a pimp. Like, I just was like, he was upset with her because she went out, because we were outside. Where are you at? What are you doing? Why are you, what are you doing? I remember him being like, you know, do you know what time it is? I remember feeling like we are not kids. It's her birthday. We went to AOD. You're not even here. Like, what are you talking about? She went and picked up some money, because it wasn't even just like, oh, we're going to party. No, she went and picked up a bag and did her birthday at AOD, you know? And so it was like, what? And he just, you know, he was spazzing about her being outside. And so she hung up on him. So then he called her, but you effing me, you hang up on me again, and I'm gonna take your car, and then I'm gonna take your. He just started threatening her about all the things that he was gonna take away from for hanging up on him. And then he was like, and I know someone's in the car. I know someone's in the car with you. You effing lying. And she was like, no, no one's in the car. I was in the car, sitting in the front seat, listening to him, going crazy. And then when we got back to the house, he called her on FaceTime and made her show him the room. Who all is in the house? Who all? What? We were all like, hi, Puff. It was so weird. I remember it was all this McDonald's food. Like, what are y'all doing? I remember him being like, what are y'all doing up? Or something like that. And we were just like, what? Like, I just remember being like, what in the hell is this? What are you talking about? What? It was weird. It was crazy. And I wasn't the only person that was there. I had this conversation with one of my homies the other day about that day. And he just was like, man, like, that was so weird. Everyone's like, hey. Fucking strange. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So when you he made her do
the same reason why you still working at that job with that crappy boss that's treating you like crap. The same reasons The same reasons, because you have to protect yourself, you have to protect your family, you have to pay your bills, you have to, and then when you're going after somebody that's powerful, like Puff, you're going against his influence.
It's almost
his
like
name,
she's even
his
still
political
scared to say
ties,
his
his
name.
street ties. Like all these people that are like, why didn't you? We wasn't like LA. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not stupid. Y'all saw what Lil Rod alleges about you know,
Gee,
and
so
LAPD and all of that, and so it just is like what
so for you guys that don't know what she's referring to, in Little Rod's lawsuit, there's an incident with a gentleman named as G. For some reason, they're keeping his name hidden. He was in a recording studio, Chalice Record Recording Studios in Los Angeles. He walked in. G was in a bathroom with Justin and with Diddy. Little Rod says he heard gunshots. He walked in. Diddy and Justin left. He walked into the room. This guy was bleeding out. The police was called, right? All this stuff happened. He had said that the LAPD did not really investigate. They lied about what was going on, and after that, it was covered up. Now, the odd thing is, I did my own little research on that, okay? And nobody really knows what happened except for the people there. Mm-hmm. But anytime there is a shooting, especially suspected gang related, and there is a celebrity involved instead of a rapper, it is splashed all over. If you even Google
it was
shooting,
nowhere.
Yeah, it was. I found one on like the local Fox channel thing, and it was just a little blurb. There was a shooting, police are investigating, and it was nowhere. So it leads me to believe that, yeah, he had the media on lock. We see right now with TMZ, he has it on lock. Diddy is connected. So to your point.
And then also, the thing is you can't tell somebody's story for them. Like, from the, like, I went back and I read some of my, like, old journals from this time. And so, for those of you that don't know, I managed Cassie in 2019, and I helped get her out of her her Bad Boy record contract.
You helped her get out her contract. Okay.
I lost my train of thought. What were we just talking about before that? You were saying something about G.
The way he was connected, the way they didn't even really investigate it, and everything could be covered up. So Diddy is heavily connected to the streets. At least that's what the streets are saying. Diddy's heavily connected to them.
I can't remember why I was saying that, but I mean, I'll tell y'all that story though.
Tell me, you got her out of her contract.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just me. It was me, a partner of mine at the time, and I was saying I went back and read my journals. So around this time when we were trying to get her out of her deal, I went back and I read my journal, and it was all about how afraid I was to take this on. I was afraid to manage her. I was afraid to go through the process of trying to help her get out of her deal. I was afraid of how it was going to impact my life.
This is a chick named Tiffany Red. She's one of Cassie's friends.
Impact my career, but I knew it was the right thing to do, and so I did it, and I and as a unit, we were successful, but I was talking about how it back then, like how I'm like, man, if Cassie ever told the world about this, it would change everything. And I remember when she left, and she was fighting to get out of her deal, and I was always the friend that was with this. I was always like, you need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was like, nah, I just want to get away. Like, if people understand, like, processing trauma and healing from trauma, understanding trauma is a process, right? So, like, she left, she got out of her deal, and during that time, that was when Gina had came forward, Gina Huynh, she had come forward on Tasha K.
Okay, Gina. So,
yeah, that was like around that time. And yeah, she was always like, no, I don't want to do this. And so I could never, like, for the people that are like, why didn't you say anything then? Why didn't you this, that, and the third? I'm like, first of all, if I would have said something then, y'all know y'all wouldn't have believed me, first of all.
Right.
So stop with the cap. You didn't believe her.
Right.
When she Facts. So stop. But why didn't you say anything then? Because she didn't say anything, because she wasn't ready.
You know what's sad is, and I understand firsthand, especially when you're an adult, right? When you're an adult survivor, trafficking, domestic violence, whatever. There's a lot of people that always, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you? The fear and all of that is put into you, and you've seen firsthand, right? Especially if it's something like this, you've seen firsthand how dangerous this person could be. You have been the receiving of his ass beatings. You have been the receiving of him, doing whatever it is, or in a man's situation, a woman, because men go through this kind of shit too, believe it or not. This case will show us this. That is another reason why this is so important. We don't get a lot of times where we can actually be like, okay, there's male victims in this situation. Male victims get looked over a lot, because they don't come and speak up about it. Why don't they come speak up about it? Because nobody believes them. And if you're a person that's been in domestic violence or something, some kind of serious abuse, you get put in your head, I'll hurt you, I'll hurt your family, I'll hurt your animals, I'll take this away from you, you'll never have a career again, I'll make sure you have no money, you'll never be able to sustain yourself. Just, and then, you get told that every single day, because trust me, that's that's a part of it. But also then the physical stuff that comes behind that as well. And then, you add the element that that's just in a regular person's, like, regular situation, not a celebrity. Then you add in the aspect that this person's a celebrity. This person's not just a celebrity, but this person is a billionaire. This person has money, and he's paying cops off. He's paying, government officials off. He's clearly, whether he's paying them or, what I think in his situation, they are also a part of this problem. So they can't let him get caught for anything. Nothing can happen with him, because if anything happens with him and he gets caught for anything, well, then everybody else is going to get caught. So you're not just trying to leave one abusive relationship. You're not just trying to leave one psychotic person. There's a whole situation. You know what I mean? It's a lot. And friends can tell you all day long, family can tell you all day long, children can even tell you all day long. But that amount of abuse that's been put in your brain, unless you've been through that, you probably won't understand it. I mean, to this day, and I've done a lot of healing, but to this day, like, I'll still sometimes jump when somebody comes to the room. I'll still over apologize for things that it's fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, Katrina and Casey and them were always like, babe, you ain't got to apologize for shit. Because sometimes I'll just apologize. And it just happens. You know what I mean? And there'll probably be things, that little telltale signs. I can usually tell when somebody's been abused, because there's telltale signs that it happens. And when the person's out of the abuse and you can still see it, that means they've been through extreme abuse. Cassie has been through extreme abuse. And like I said, on top of that, for a regular person, you have to add the whole world. Every time she turned around, nobody believed her. You know what it took for a lot of people to believe this woman? All of us watching a video of her getting the shit beat out of her in a hotel. Now, people that have followed this and know about this know that she's been a victim. I mean, she was 19 years old when he got her. She was very impressionable, right? So nobody believes. And then people sit around and make jokes about it. Or they blame you. You know what I mean? Like, it's your fault. You were there for the money. And it's not that simple, people. Anyway, my bad. I just wanted to throw that little tad bit in there. You think abuse is bad and the people around you don't believe you, but then the whole world, you're in a situation with a celebrity and the whole world is in here telling you it's your fault. Whew, you just get abused again and again and again and again.
She told,
and he sets it up that way.
Yeah. No, I have been told her, like, yo, but until she was ready, and like going back to the supporting people that go through DV, it's like, you cannot make someone do something they are not ready for. And I'm proud of her for waiting until she was ready, because look at what we're dealing with. This is a heavy lift. And this is people's real life. She is a real person. I am a real person. Puff is a real person. These are human beings, and like, this is hard stuff. Can you imagine what she feels like turning on the news and her assault is all over
Yep.
TV? Her family, her husband, her kids. I can't like. And then as a friend, as somebody who loves her, watching somebody you love, like it's like wow, the world is like sensationalizing it and doing all their think pieces on it. And, I saw somebody like, why did she take the stairs? It's just so ignorant. Like, it's
Right.
just like, you can't imagine if that was your friend, if that was your daughter, if that was your wife, your mom. And
It's one thing to be publicly humiliated in your home every single day. It's another thing, and to have the internet join in, and then it's another thing to have the news. You know what I mean? Like it's insane to me. It's and people don't get it. They don't get it unless they have seen it or watched it happen, or whatever. A lot of people just don't understand it. And then what even really kills me is people that have seen abuse and they still ask the same questions. Why didn't you leave? Why, what'd you say for? Oh, you must have liked it. You chose to be there. Like they just don't get it, and people need to understand. And domestic violence and human trafficking, I mean, besides obviously the selling of people, but I'm talking about the abuse tactics are the same. Then on top of that, Stockholm syndrome is a very real thing too. You know what I mean? So because you get so fucking mind warped that you just, I don't know, man. It's hard. And that's why until people get the right healing that they need, they will continue to be in abusive relationships. So, but when you sit down and you take some time to heal and you take some time to learn why and how all this happened, the chances are, because I mean, anybody can end up in a domestic violence situation and anybody can end up being trafficked. So, anybody, um, because it's never what it looks like in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like it looks like rainbows and butterflies in the beginning, and it never turns out that way. All right, I got a little bit more time. I'm gonna we'll do about 15, 20 more minutes of this, and then I might have to cut it short because I gotta go to work.
These are not the things that would be coming out of your mouth, would it?
Unfortunately.
And the expectation for you to know everything to do in that moment is bull. That's not you. Survival kicks in, fight or flight kicks in. The girl didn't have no shoes on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
that was in the middle of a freak off. That was in the middle.
Exactly.
That was in the middle of a freak off. They'd had a freak off. He had punched her in her face. The court documents say that during the freak off, and Cassie said the freak offs didn't just last an hour or two. They were days long experiences. In the middle of a freak off, he punched her in her face. Then little while later, he kind of dozed off. That's why he got socks on, right? He kind of dozed off. She then was like, I'm out. Again, you got to hit rock bottom 7 or 8 times. She grabbed what she could. She even grabbed her shoes and she ran out there. He woke up, heard her leaving. She was literally racing to the elevator, hoping something would happen. And we saw what happened. The elevator didn't come in time. If that elevator had come in time, who knows what would have happened.
Can you believe that there are people that would take money to hide something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. People do it all the time. You have the right amount of money, I can promise you can make anything go away. And I've seen it happen time and time and fucking again. I've seen people be hurt and no one ever be accountable for it. And no one ever will. And especially in the world of like, trafficking and prostitution and all that, the adult industry, I can promise you there are people that die. I have so many friends that have died. Some we know about, some we still don't know where they're at. Nobody's ever found them. We know they're not alive anymore, but we don't know anything about anything. And that kind of shit. And the news, even when women die, like even the work that I do now, like we'll get alerts or something. They found a woman here dead in an abando. We found a woman in a suitcase. We found a woman in a trash can. That shit it don't make the news. There's a couple reasons. It don't make the news because one, no one gives a fuck. And two, if there's any kind of high political people attached to it, they ain't gonna let that shit out. I remember here long time ago, And in Chicago, they did it as well. A lot of places did it. They went through a session where if men or people, they say people, got arrested for prostitution, your name and everything went in the newspaper, all that, your arrest, why you got arrested, all that, right? You got, it's a little bit of a public, like, hey, this is what's going on. That stopped real quick. Do you want to know why most places don't do that anymore? Because powerful people started getting arrested. Judges started getting arrested. Police officers started getting arrested. Big time fucking doctors. Big time lawyers. Well, they can't have those things out now, can they? And that's the frustrating part about this. Because as long as powerful people, whether it's powerful people in like Diddy circle, you know what I mean? Like all these people, Wall Street people, all these, or even just powerful people in your community. Because it doesn't have to, everyday citizens aren't going to see it on a billionaire platform, right? But there's power and control in your community. I mean, we just had a shooting here, a lot of people have been like, hey, Summer, look into it, see what's going on. There's so many rumors going around, but I will say this. Something that's consistent in this is there was, there was sex that was going on that shouldn't be going on. I see some places they're saying there might be a minor involved. Other people are saying that it's adults. So that's why I'm taking my time on looking through everything, because they're not, once again, this is a sheriff and a fucking judge. They're not letting a whole lot out. All right, give me a hug. Love you. Have a good week.
Right,
Make your brain smarter. So, you know what I mean? That's just the way it works. Powerful people get away with everything. And it could be, I mean, it ain't even got to be police or lawyers or whatever. It could be preachers. So you just have to, that's why it's important to understand the power and control and thing. And, it is important for people to give situations pushback. But you know why people don't give pushback? Because when the system pushes back, whether it be the rich billionaire system, the, local power and control system, whatever, unless you, none of us has got, they can really fuck your whole life up. Let's just put it that way. Yes, Ray J is the one that was with Kim Kardashian. And so I don't know, for anybody that's just tuning in, tomorrow, so my husband knows how much of a passion to bring awareness and fight in anti-human trafficking. And like there was a case with Satoya Brown. It was a girl down in Tennessee. We helped with that case or whatever, big time, hands-on, protesting, going to court, all kinds of shit, writing letters. We did all kinds of shit. She put a book out. My husband got that book for me. When this came out, and then it was released that Kim Porter, which is P. Diddy's ex-wife, her book got released. Apparently before she died, or someone unalived her, which I think that's what happened. She sent a copy of the book out to tons of her friends because she was scared something would happen to her. Not long after that happened, she mysteriously died from pneumonia. But there was like needle play and stuff involved around all. I mean, a lot of people don't think that she died from pneumonia. I made a point last night that this man had doctors come and take care of Cassie when he would beat the shit out of her. So you think he can't pay a doctor to make a death certificate look weird? 100% he could. Anyway, so the friend has put, and I actually found out who the friend was. I'm going to announce that tomorrow. But the friend put out a copy of the book, so it is on Amazon. My husband, I called him last night after doing the show, and my husband's like, "Hey, babe, I want you to know I got you that book." So I thought that was really cool because, it's nice when somebody you love pays attention to things and does stuff for you without even you asking. So with all that said, I'm going to be reading the book tomorrow. We're going to start reading it tomorrow. I'm going to read a little bit at a time. Apparently there is a whole lot of shit in this book. I've seen a couple clips that were out of the book, and let me tell you, honey, there is so much motherfucking tea. There's so much tea. I'm gonna figure out how I gotta figure out how I'm gonna read this because some of it seems pretty graphic. So tomorrow we will be doing that. I will be reading out of Kim Porter's book that is and right now on Amazon bestseller. So what's up, Tommy? How are you doing? All right, y'all. We're gonna listen to 10 more minutes of this, and then I've got to take off because unfortunately I have to go to work.
One thing that I do agree about is I think this happens and it's very widespread in places where there are entertainment, money, and in the entertainment industry, whether it be acting, whether it be music, it seems like that's almost a perk, a beneficial perk of being in the in crowd. So I do think that they probably see stuff like that happen all the time.
Right.
But to the point of people saying, oh, that happens all the time, that doesn't diminish one person's pain. It means hold everybody else except account.
And that's something too that I hope people see, that with all this stuff coming out, yes, this is the music industry, but it's not just the music industry. I keep telling you all that. It's actors, it's sports. Just in this particular case alone, there's actors, there's sports, there's Wall Street people, there's president people, there's, you know, elite people, there's all kinds of different people. And one thing that I kind of say sometimes when stuff like this happens is, unfortunately, as a society, we have been groomed ourselves to think certain things is acceptable, and just it is what it is. That always happens. It's a part of the business. It's a part of, the community. This is just what happens. Um, I really hope that we get to a time and age to where we don't use those excuses. We cannot say that we protect children, but allow grown people to be abused, because those grown people used to be kids. So we can't make it acceptable in the workforce, in music industry, whatever it is. We can't make any of that acceptable, and we can't make excuses for the dumb shit when it happens too. So just want to throw that out there, because that's another reason why we're in the situations we're in. Because people, instead of looking at things for what they are and stopping them and not accepting predators or abusers to be around, it's kind of where we're at now. And our kids are paying for it. And if we don't get a clue on it, our kids are going to continue to pay for it, because those kids are going to grow up to be adults. That's all adults are, broken kids.
Accountable. Really quick, Jacqueline Carlson, thank you so much for the super chat. She said, generous super chat. Thank you, Jacqueline. She said, thank you, Tiffany. We are coming up to speak your truth. You're courageous, and thank you for standing by Cassie. Unfortunately, Diddy had all these henchmen around him that did whatever he needed to be done.
Right.
Unfortunately, Diddy had all of them around him. Okay, and they did do what needed to be done. Did you ever see even more evidence of that, or was it kind of just like that intimidation with, when you see people coming in squad deep and you're just like, oh my God, what do we do?
Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry, somebody was calling me. Hold on, let me put my phone on do not disturb. Sorry.
What were you? So what do you say to Jacqueline about having his henchmen? So what do you feel about Jacqueline, what she says about Diddy having his hench men and hench women around him?
100%.
I mean, yeah, those were the people that I saw.
Those are the people that clean up all messes.
Blind Dragon, that formed the circle around her,
right,
so that he could do what he did. I mean, that's why, like, when I say, what did you expect us to do? Like, it's a lot of people. We're outnumbered. We're outnumbered, and we're out resourced, if that's even a thing. So
yeah, that's a thing.
Absolutely right.
Definitely. Also, I have a quick question. So Jamie had a question where she says, what do you feel about where we are now in the world? Do you think if the climate was different back then, that Cassie would have done more publicly, or you could have done more publicly, even as a friend, or would you still have waited until she was ready to face the music?
I would have always waited.
Right, you can't force anything, and this is still going on until not that long ago. So
publicly tell somebody else's story. I also do not believe that if I would have went to the police, I would have been believed. I think I would have just put her in more danger.
Yep.
And I think as far as the climate, the thing is like, Cassie has never been the kind of person that's like sitting down, doing interviews, doing all of that. And I don't know if that's because of the controlling situation. Like, I've only, like, I saw her with him for a really long time as far as us working. So I don't know if if the climate were different. I mean, maybe, because the thing is, she used the Adult Survivors Act to file that lawsuit. It has to exist for, shout out to Drew Dixon.
That's right.
She's somebody who fought for that.
Drew Dixon,
Yeah,
the Russell Women thing.
Yeah, she was a big part of fighting for the Adult Survivors Act in New York, and so I mean, yeah, it is the time and climate, because if that didn't exist, she would have never been able to file it, because it was out.
And that's because a lot of fucking survivors and a lot of victims got together, and that they're speaking up more, and they're not only speaking up more and telling their stories more, but they're also getting involved in the lawmaking processes. They're getting involved in, whether it is they're a part of building the legislation together, or, just whatever. There's a lot of survivor leaders, as we would call them, that are out involved in doing the work too. And that makes a huge fucking difference from now to even, to be honest with you, 10, 15 years ago. So I think that's what's pretty awesome about the time of change that has been going on in the last decade or so. Thank you guys. Today's my baby's birthday.
Outside of the statute.
That's a put.
So, yeah. I mean,
and a lot of
so social media. Look, we're on, like, what we're doing right now. We're on YouTube.
Everything's just different.
Built this incredible platform that reaches all of these people. I mean, I'm on the internet. I'm on my socials. I use my platform to speak. And so there's things there's new formats of
reaching out and talking
for content that allow us to get around the gatekeepers to tell these stories.
That's right.
Like, when this was all first happening, like, I mean, fine, Instagram was around, but it was not being used for that yet. Like, it wasn't what you get what I'm saying? Like, there were just things that haven't, it's a process. So I don't know. I think a lot of things had to happen for things to get here, like, it just,
I agree with that.
What I am going to do,
a lot of people.
So we are at 1 hour and 17 minutes. I am going to share this live and put it on my community post for anybody that wants to finish listening to it. I'm also going to finish listening to it while I'm getting ready and driving to work. So again, we are at the 1 hour and 17 minute. If anybody wants to watch it, I am sharing it now.
Hey, thanks for doing the thing. It's like everything is tied to.
And because they're still alive, they're still talking. Seems that they're talking about all kinds of stuff. So I just put a must watch. All right, I just posted it, so if anybody wants to go and do that, they can. But unfortunately, I've got to go to work, so I've got to jump off. I'm sure I'll see some of you around the internet streets tonight or today or soon. But we will be, like I said, I will be getting the book tomorrow. It's supposed to be here tomorrow afternoon, so tomorrow evening, because I have to work till like 8 o'clock. We will start going over the book. And so it is the Kim Porter story. It's the book that might have cost her life, allegedly. So we're going to get into that. I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody have a great day. And you know what? Go do something nice for somebody else, because it's my son's birthday today. Holler!